Well, the points were there for Preston against Wednesday, but the performance was pretty poor. Is it just us, or have the performances dropped off in the last couple of weeks? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to Where the Gentry Walk. We got 3 massive Preston journalists ready to give their view on the Sheffield Wednesday result. It looked on paper pretty good, but some of that defending was absolutely woeful. Hope you're doing well. Also coming up this week, we're going to talk about this man yet again. Hecky's got another charge. Does he just need to calm down a little bit? We're talking about Preston's Christmas fixtures. How good or bad do they actually look? Who do we want in the FA Cup draw next week? And coming up at the end of the show, we are manifesting who gets in the North End A to Z for the letter H. Which legend or event do you want to see get in there? First of all, if you have just found the channel and you have got time to put in another 15 minutes of North End podcast into your lives, we'd be very grateful for you to press that sub button as we massively grow this towards 250. That'd be absolutely amazing. I'm grateful to have these talented journalists with us. Etienne, are the performances dropping off a bit?
Yeah, I think slowly and steadily they are, but also on the bright side, we're still managing to pick up results. I thought we were awful in the first half. I thought some of the defending was shambolic. We still took our chance very well, and that carried into the second half. Sheffield Wednesday slowed their roll a bit, and Dobbin and Mads were in the right place at the right time to get us back in the lead. And it just still fills you with a lot of confidence, because I see a lot of people in the past say that we always have to be 100%, and I don't think we were against Sheffield Wednesday, and we still came away with a 3-2 win.
The opposition fans on Twitter, every time that I've seen them play Preston at the moment, Harvey, all say the same words. How are you fourth? How are you in the playoffs? How are you this? I mean, I'm sure you've seen it yourself. Have they got a point recently? People come and play Preston and go, wow, the quality of this league is bad if you guys are up there.
Well, yeah, but like Etienne just said, it's all well and great talking about like how are you there, how are you this, you play like that, but the table speaks for itself. Teams just don't appear there magically. You get there because you win games and you win points, and regardless of whether people think that we play absolute harambol or whether we play like prime Barcelona, it doesn't matter. The table is there as a fact. North End of yeah, it might not have been the prettiest journey, and obviously, like Etienne just said, the performances have dropped in recent weeks. But at the end of the day, it's about the mentality and grinding out results. And North End are there in the table for a reason. We deserve every credit for being there.
Yeah, let's look at some tweets then. I couldn't agree with you more. Joey Carl says, I'll take the 3 points, but we didn't deserve any from that game. That back three can't start together again. A fire has to be on the back three, not out wide. I'd play Dobbin as a striker instead of Smith or Jemison. We really miss McCann and Armstrong and Gibson, which of course has been said every single week on here for the last 2 episodes. What about this back line point about a fire here, who I thought had an absolute stinker on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bizarre comment because, to be honest with you, I think he's more calamitous than the three in the centre. And I think I'd be even more worried if he was part of that centre. I think his best play is a bit like small. He's actually going forward, when he's dragging the ball forward. But actually, I wouldn't trust him in the back three, not yet. I think it's harsh on Lindsay, Hughes and Story, who've been pretty solid. They obviously had a dodgy game on the weekend, bit dodgy against Blackburn, but I think overall you've got to think that their age. I think they're all, apart from Stories, probably late 20s. Hughes is like 33, I think, is he? And he's being asked to play 9 minutes every week. I don't think we'd have this problem if we had Gibson in the team. I've got to say, Lindsay stepped up really well. And I think it's a bit harsh to criticise him or the others on that one. I think, to be honest with you, I think the big problem was actually Small and Underfear actually on the both wing backs, because you're having Devine dropping back, helping Fear. It was just when you've got that, you're having to Stories going to cover him as well. It just gets the whole shape of the defence completely out of place. So I'm very surprised that someone's suggesting a Fear at centre back. I think, like I say, we've had 3 games in a week quite consistently recently. And I think, like I said, the age of those centre backs, you expect them to maybe put in a poor performance every now and then. But I think overall, I mean, once now we've got a week rest, I'm hoping, they can come back in and play as they have been playing, because they've been pretty solid all season, to be fair to them.
Yeah, Etienne, are we seeing the lack of depth in this Preston side here now as the reason why these performances are dropping off?
I don't think I'd use lack of depth as a phrase though, because I'm still quite happy with our depth. Like, this is a team with missing key players all over the park, like McCann and Vucevic and Gibson, and we're still managing to show that resilience and fight to go from 2-1 down to 3-2 up. But yeah, also the standard of the player, we don't want to be doing another season with Hughes, Lindsay, and Story as our backup back three, because ultimately there's a reason why Lindsay was on the bench at the start of the season. So I think if the injury situation carries on as it is, and also the fact that Jamal Lewis is now injured again, which is a shame, and we're probably going to have to see a makeshift left wing back on Saturday. I think if it carries on, we're going to see more impact. But at the same time, this is the last 2 or 3 games have started to only show warning signs really off that squad depth. As soon as we get these key players back, I've not really got a concern.
Let's take another tweet. Cheers, Etienne. Rob says, complete miracle how Sheffield Wednesday only scored 2. Worst performance of the season, Harvey. But somehow we got it done. Dobbin carries the team. What a player, and Everson the hero. Everson the hero again. Yeah, and yeah, the penalty save, of course. Because that would put them 3-1 up, wouldn't it? I think, and pretty much the game would be done and dusted then, wasn't it? Yeah. Talking about Dobbin and then Everson.
I'm going to get a lot of stick for this. I find, obviously, Dobbin is a brilliant player. Obviously, he's got 10 goal contributions already in his loan spell. I think he's great. Obviously, he has that ability to create something out of nothing. But it might just be me, and I might just be really being very picky. He's a bit difficult to watch for me because I think he's a little bit greedy at times. And I think that there's spells in different parts of the pitch where he kind of goes on like a solo run and loses the ball too much. And for the Mads goal, I thought he was going to do the same thing. I was more shocked that he passed, if anything. But I think, obviously, that's just the consequence you pay with that type of play. It's always someone that's wanting to drive forward and create something, and he does that really well. But I'm probably just nitpicking. And for Everson, it's same old, same old. Obviously, I think people, even when he made that mistake at Millwall, I think everyone knew that he's still a very good goalkeeper, and he's gained us more points and he's lost us more points, and that will probably always be the same for him. Obviously, it's a brilliant save in obviously a penalty situation, a high situation. Obviously, it would have put them 3-1 up in the game. So every credit to him, but it just goes to show how much of a standout he is in this team and how happy everyone is that he's back with us.
He's definitely the player of the season so far, Joey, isn't he? No doubt on that.
Yeah, I'd say so, definitely. I mean, as Harvey's alluded to, that one mistake against Millwall compared to all the times he saved us, yeah, he's been top notch, and he was top notch last time he was here. So, he's just carried on from where he left off.
He's going to be top notch next Tuesday night, of course, Deep Dell, because Coventry are in town. We'll talk about that game more in a second, because I fear the jinx might be coming to an end maybe on Tuesday, but we will see. You mentioned Mads there, Harvey, in your little chat there. Of course, on last week's video, of course, we were watching, we had the headline, "It's Mads finished," in terms of his legs. And I think every time we put a question out like on this video, the very next week we're sitting here eating humble pie, aren't we? Harvey, I mean, you were right because you didn't agree with what the tweet said last week, so you can hold your head high here.
Yeah, I don't like to sit here and tell people I told you so, but in this instance, I will. I think obviously, like I said, I admitted that his performances haven't been up to the standard that everyone knows he can be. But it was like even at Watford, he was late in the game. He's probably the only player trying to make like a forward pass. Obviously, I understand that they were a bit miskeyed, but he's just a player that you can just trust to just move the side forward and create something out of nothing. And I think that a lot of people, like I said, I think it's because that the standard of midfielders this season has significantly improved. So I think that they expect that improvement as well from Mads. But every credit from this season, like he said in his interviews, and like Hecky said, he's been extremely patient and he's had to wait for his chances. And 9 times out of 10, he's took his chance when he's come on. He did it at Southampton and he's done it at Sheffield Wednesday. So every credit to him.
Another little side storyline this week, Etienne, then is that Paul Higginbotham has been charged again by the FA for allegedly comments made towards officials before the game, apparently. Before the even game kicked off at Watford this Tuesday night. And of course that's prompted many to say, oh, wrong way, that the FA have got their agenda against Preston continues. So that little kind of niggle, that little paranoia against North End fan continues. Does he need to calm down a bit? Or do you not mind a manager with passion and calls a spade a spade?
I love a manager with passion, but what reason would he have to swear an official pre-match? The thing is, I don't know what he said, and also it's such a weird situation where it's like, I couldn't really care less, ultimately, as long as it doesn't seem get a touchline ban, in which case, then we're going to be a bit worried a little bit. But at the same time, yeah, I don't mind him showing passion. I don't mind him doing things as long as he, A, limits himself, and B, does it with the team's best interests at heart. But at the same time, it don't really bother me at all.
Yeah, okay. Let's look at the Christmas fixtures then for North End. I mean, I think these are quite good, apart from Coventry. Let's have a quick look at them. Joey, we've got this weird double header thing going on this year where we've just played Sheffield Wednesday. You'll play them again on New Year's Day, and then this double header with Wrexham. So you haven't played them for years and years, and then decades and decades, and you'll see them twice in the space of 3 weeks. Do you think that gives some teams an advantage? Playing a team so close together, or disadvantage depending on who you are.
I don't really know, to be honest with you, but I mean, I know the away fixture will be as Maitch's first game back, so it could look very different. I think we may have Lewis Gibson back by then, so I think the game next week we could be sort of bare bones. So hopefully by the 29th we're a bit better shape. So if we don't get anything next week, it might be a different game on the 29th. But
some people have pointed out, sorry to interrupt, that because you're playing Wrexham, getting both their games done before they have a chance to invest in their squad again in January, that you have an advantage playing, and same with Birmingham, who plays Birmingham, that, if you get both your games gone before that January, whereas you should play each team once before and kind of once after. That's, I think, the point some people are making. But
yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, I think Wrexham, we're probably going to assess where they were before January and see. And they're probably seeing the moment they've got an actual chance of doing another promotion, because, like you said, the league's not as strong this year. And I think they're only about 3-4 points of the playoffs now. Yeah. So yeah, maybe that will come into factor as well. So yeah, that's a good point to be fair.
Okay, we'll talk more about Wrexham in a second. Coventry then to come then, Harvey. So we all know the hoodoo here. They haven't won at Deepdale. They're top of the league. They've scored 50 goals already. They are absolutely flying. The whole world is looking to Preston to stop them next week. And in fact, some Coventry fans have said if we beat Preston, we want the title on the pitch being presented there and then, because this league is done and dusted. Can you please beat Coventry next Tuesday for the rest of the league, please?
I'd love absolutely nothing more, but at the minute my heart is in about 14 places with this game. I'm absolutely terrified. It wouldn't, but at the same time, it would not shock me if North End win at all. It just wouldn't, because it's North End written all over it to just do that, to just beat a team so in form, because we have really weird spells where we just do that to teams. But I would be lying if I sat here and said I wasn't absolutely petrified of that game, especially like Joey said with how bare bone the squad is right now. Obviously, you've got the players missing all over the pitch. Obviously, like I think I saw something earlier that there are a couple of players coming back, which obviously hopefully boosts the squad. But I'm petrified. But yeah, I would love nothing more than to beat Coventry, to be honest.
Yeah, such a weird thing in football, Etienne, isn't it? That there, of all the times they've come there, not to have. I think they won in the cup once, but yeah, I mean, would you put that down to over your times seeing that fixture, that there's no other combination of teams where there is this statistic? It's bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, the weird thing is, Harvey saying he's petrified. I'm quite confident going into that fixture because of the same reason. The fact that we always just see, whenever we seem to get one of these teams come to us on a Tuesday night under the lights of Deepdale, I think it's probably the biggest chance a team has got to beat Coventry this season. Obviously, just at the fact like all the conditions are probably going to come to a head. I also like Coventry are unbelievable, but the hoodoo might be in the head. They might be going, this might be the one chance to do it. We've been so good this season. Next thing you know, they're losing 1-0 because Jefferson's managed to flick a header in at the near post. I think that's all it's going to take. And then we have to sit behind the ball. It's easier said than done, but I'm quite confident about that. I'm more confident about beating Coventry than beating Wrexham, actually. So,
okay. And just on the Wrexham story, Joey, I mean, they spent the fourth highest amount in the league this season in terms of transfers, so we can't call it a fairy tale, can we? But do you buy into the story of what's happened to them, and do you look at it with some tint of jealousy?
I'd definitely say jealousy, yeah, because we've been waiting for that type of investment for many years, and we still are now. But I think you know what they've done it a right way. I don't think they've gone too mental with it. I think this season, I thought they were just going to sign. They looked like they were just going to sign a lot of sort of overaged, overrated players. But then some of this business towards the end of the window, I thought was quite smart, like O'Brien and a few of the defenders, Doyle and stuff. I think the way they've actually recruited was actually to become a solid championship side, and not just sort of trying to chase the championship title this year. And I think, like you say, I think in January they'll probably do the same thing again. But yeah, I mean, I don't like the whole sort of Hollywood sort of angle to it because Sky Sports love it, and that's the thing that annoys me more. It's not actually Wrexham themselves; it's Sky Sports and the media that try and just bring everything into their name. They've got the World Cup, Women's World Cup bid on their ground, which I don't think they would have had before this because Swansea's ground is obviously a lot better. And they're getting investment from the government even. And it's just like, where was Wrexham before all this? This just seems to be like a bandwagon for governments, for media, for just the FA, just to get on. And I don't blame Wrexham or the fans because I think they're a very good traditional club actually, and with a lot of history. So it's just that it just so happens that, it's with the territory that you get all this media attention with it.
We'll also look back on that game next week. Just to finish off the Christmas fixtures, by the way, then so trip to Oxford, then Harvey, that shouldn't be any problems, I don't think there. Then Norwich at home, which have I just seen today? There's some sort of special thing going on. Oh, it's going to be the Remembrance one. So yeah, saw that. Trip to Stoke on Boxing Day. That's not too bad, Etienne. Is it a trip on Boxing Day? Not too far.
Not too far. Pretty good hunting grounds for us as well, but Stoke are pretty good this year. They know how to defend.
Yeah.
So,
and then will any of you be going to the racecourse on the 29th? Yeah, for your first away trip to Wrexham in years. Yeah, okay. So not an all bad Christmas, Harvey, is it on paper?
I mean, quite. It depends how you look at it. Obviously, Wrexham's a difficult game. Obviously, we played them in the cup. And obviously lost, but that was a bit different, like rotated team. Coventry, like I said, I'm already petrified for. I think Oxford are a bit of a tricky one this season. Obviously, they're not picking up too many points, but it is, at the end of the day, a Gary Rowett side, and it's a Gary Rowett side that knows how to defend really well, albeit they've conceded a lot of goals. But I think last season at Oxford, we struggled. But obviously the Stoke game as well, like Etienne just said, that they're a really well-drilled side at the moment, and then got Norwich, who I think are going to start picking up some points in recent weeks. So it'll definitely be a test. I've said it for weeks now. I think that this Christmas period defines how the rest of the season goes for me. I think if we can pick up enough points and kind of keep where we are towards the middle of January, then I'd say that we have a good chance towards being in the playoffs at the end of the season.
Yeah, we all keep our fingers crossed for that. Would be brilliant. To have Bristol City, Millwall, and Preston finish in those playoffs would just be brilliant for the purists of the Championship. Absolutely fantastic. And we want Bristol City, of course, Preston playoff final as well, don't we? That would just be French kids.
The Championship have combust, I
think. yeah, loser has to stay there forever. Winner can go. Right. The one fixture missing from that list, of course, is the FA Cup third round, which happens after the Sheffield Wednesday return trip. Deepdale. So we're manifesting who we want in that third round draw. We could do with a good cup run for North End, couldn't we? We've flirted with it. No, we don't want a good. We don't want a cup run. All right, okay, let's find out then. Harvey, who do you want to draw next Sunday, Monday when the draw's made?
I would genuinely just love a really big team away in the Premier League, like your Arsenal or City. Get some money from going there, get knocked out nice and early. This year, I know like the North End is usually like traditional for wanting a really big cup run, but this season I think with the standard of the Championship and the fact that teams are dropping points here, there, and everywhere, I think that this is probably your best chance to do something. And like I said, with the fixtures that we've got, like this month, and then obviously coming up, I think it's going to be a really big 2 tough months. And for me, I'd be much happier if we just focused on the league.
Joey?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose last year though, the only argument against that is we got to, was it the quarters in the end? Yeah, and that was the only thing that was keeping our season going, albeit in the end we actually almost get relegated. But I know Hecky loves a cup run, and he actually helped to use it for Sheffield United to actually help him get promoted that year. But I just love Blackpool, just because we just don't get to play them enough these years, do we? Because they're terrible. But Blackpool or someone in London away, I'd be happy with either.
Are they still in? I don't even know. I need to double check that. Are they still in?
And they've got Carlisle Sunday.
Okay, right. Etienne?
Yeah, I kind of every year I'll say I either want City, Arsenal, United away, or I want the worst team in the competition. So the fixture I've got my eye on Sunday will be Slough Town versus Macclesfield, because I would not mind away there. But at the same time, yeah, if we get City away, I'll take that all day long, get the money. Even if it's a 1-0, 2-0 defeat, then just allow us to free up more time in the season, to allow more recovery, allow less injuries, and really put a push on this season.
Okay. There's a nice new stadium up in Liverpool that, Harrison Armstrong can drive the bus to, because he knows the way. He can, he can
then he can't play, can he? And then we don't have a chance.
Well, it's really, he can drive the bus. It's like he can't play, but yeah, we'll have a good day out.
You're not having him, Mark. Having him. Not yet.
Right. Finally, this week, then, we've been talking about the A to Z of North End, and we're up to the letter H this week. Then, so who gets in? Who gets in for you? Whose turn is it first this week? Joey. It must be Joey's, I think, isn't it?
I'm going to go for Paul Huntington. Yeah, absolute legend. And scored at Wembley, don't forget, for that 4-0 win. So for that alone, but he deserves his testimonial, and he still hasn't got it. So the club need to really get their act together on that one.
Okay. Harvey?
Well, I'm glad Joey went first, so you can't accuse me of robbing it. I had 5, and that was one of them. I've got to pick one out of the 4 now. I'll go with Chris Humphreys. I think that he was a really good player that stuck in my memory. I think my brother used to bang on about him all the time as well. So that's Chris Humphreys will be my one.
That's it.
I feel like it'd be unfair I didn't go for this one, considering his shirt. Which way am I going in? His shirt is literally on my wall. But, Dwayne Holmes. I like. Sorry?
I thought it was Hugel. I looked at the number and I thought it was Hugel. That's my eyes up.
I liked Holmes before he even joined Preston, and then we got him, and I was like, I think at the time everyone was like, "Oh, it's not going to be very good for us. He's a free from Huddersfield." He ended up being really impactful, and I think, yeah, just a very useful squad player, good on his day. I really liked him. I thought he had a great personality, but nowhere near Huntington. Nowhere near.
Okay. Just as a query, what would Paul Heckingbottom have to do this season to get in above all those names you just mentioned?
Premier League.
If he got you to the Premier League.
Yeah, he's there.
If he gets into the Premier League, statue. I want statue built immediately. I do want my honourable mention, by the way. Everyone who knows me knows that my favourite player was Josh Harrop, so he's getting that mention. I know no one at North End rates him. I did. I absolutely loved him. Everyone said he was too injury prone. I think he was absolutely class. So he's getting a mention at least.
Mark, for context, he plays in the Baller League now. So
injury. He'll always have that one goal against Charlton. He always has that one goal.
He scored a volley against Rovers.
Oh yeah.
That's stuck in the brain.
Brilliant. Cheers for that first. And so, out of all that, who are we choosing? Crikey, right? Harvey, you can have the final say this week, given you begin with H.
It's obviously got
only.
Huntington. There's no other answer really.
Right, now next week they definitely need your help out there, so get typing in the comments for them now. We'll read some of these out next week because they're coming up with their first tricky letter of the alphabet next week, and the letter I. So surnames only, or it could be clubs. So I don't know if you've got famous results against Ipswich or Ingleton Town or whatever, but let us know. Let us know in the comments. No Wikipedia either. And we'll see what they churn out next week. And good luck against Wrexham. Enjoy the non-midweek activities, and thank you, of course, very much for joining us. This has been Where the Gentry Walk. Thank you, Etienne. Thank you, Harvey. Thank you, Joey. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you after Wrexham. Catch you then.